started the fire.
Yes, the fire rises.
How come you don't want me, man?
I have failed this city.
Today we face the monsters that are at our door and bring the fight to them. We will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. This day we fight!
That's how winning is done.
Salutations, travelers! My name is Jane Cobb, and welcome to the Verse. This is the best podcast in the Verse. I do say so myself. Joining me is we've got the best pilot in the biz. We have Wash. How you doing, buddy?
I'm a leaf on the wind.
Oh, too soon. Too
I know.
soon. All right. So first off, we have Happy Dinosaur saying "Happy Day to you, Joaquin Phoenix Press." Oh, that's pretty funny. How are you? So yeah, we are here to talk about the amazing show Firefly. It's effect on everybody, and can any power in the verse truly stop us? So yeah, we both decided to do some cosplay. I am the lovable rogue, Jane Cobb. Who? Fun fact: Adam Baldwin is the guy who named Gamergate.
Really? Did not know that.
A little bit of lore for you. JB says, can't stop the signal. No, you can't. I don't know. Like, this film is kind of so steeped in lore and whatnot, where, like, mythology and just kind of emotions. A bit before my time. Fair enough. Happy Dinosaur. Isn't it weird that a show from like 2002, someone says before their time?
I know.
Like, makes you feel old.
That's like when someone doesn't remember 9/11.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I don't know. In my world, like, like a firefighter's young when they don't remember 9/11.
Oh, Vera. She's at the shop. She's having some malfunctions. Funny enough, so I wasn't able to finish the entire series, but the last episode I watched was Our Mrs. Reynolds, which was the Vera episode.
Yeah.
So yeah, I find the show to be a bit of an enigma. Because a lot of I was 3 at the time. Fair enough. Well, the funny thing is, this show is steeped in Western lore and also Civil War lore.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is something that, like, when people talk about Firefly, this aspect of it, which is very, like, hard coded into the DNA of the show, is the Civil War. It's the Mal is a Confederate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's literally a point where he says, "Yeah, we'll rise again," which is a very deliberate phrasing. That is very deliberate.
Yeah.
Also, the Confederates were called gray coats because they the gray coats versus the blue coats.
Mm-hmm.
So calling them brown coats. And also, like, there's the thing about the Western lore is a lot of the gunslingers were Confederates because, like, after the Civil War, a lot of Confederates moved out west.
Mm-hmm.
And that affected the lore of the West,
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think Jesse James or whatever, like a lot of the famous gunslingers were Confederates.
Mm-hmm.
And so, literally, Joss Whedon made a show about Confederates when they lost and they moved on again. And there's this whole show steeped into, well, you were on the losing side,
Mm-hmm.
Kind of thing. And I don't know. It's just, you don't really see it brought up, which is it feels kind of weird because it's a very, very deliberate thing in the show,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder why. I don't know. I know it is brought up, but it's rarely brought up.
But then
It's
because nowadays the whole topic of Confederates, it's not really fashionable
yeah,
to romanticize the South as it used to be.
and I don't think it was even fashionable back then, but it was like not too on the nose, you know. It was not really subtle either, but it was just kind of dance that
It was
line.
very much it was very obvious, but at the same
Yeah.
time, yeah, there was a certain subtlety. It wasn't in your face, but like it's kind of like for me, it's like when you're watching X-Men First Class,
Mm.
and they're on the beach, and when Xavier says, "Eric, stop! They're just men following orders." And like,
Mhm.
there's this pause. There's a very
Mhm.
deliberate pause
Mhm.
because anyone who knows their role, like, oh shoot, he did not just say that.
Mhm.
It requires you to know your history, because like, just following orders was a common defense in Nuremberg trials, whatever. It's like the movie has a pause. They actually hold on that moment for a second.
Mhm.
No, they want you to be like, oh crap. And
Yeah.
it's like, I've been at the mercy of men following orders before,
Yeah.
yeah, it's that's what I'm saying. So
Yeah.
so when Mal says, yeah, and we'll rise again, it's one of those things
Mhm.
where it's like, it's a very obvious phrasing
Mhm.
to where people who anybody of our generation will know the phrase "the South will rise again," and maybe not people like Happy Dinosaur, but it's a very obvious phrase. Just like
Right.
saying just following orders is like a very obvious phrasing that like you need to know it to get the joke, but like it's kind of woven into our kind of culture kind of thing. But so yeah, I don't know, just it's interesting.
It is very interesting. It's I think it dances that line just right of, it's not on the nose, but not subtle. It's just there,
Mhm.
And it's obviously not like a one-to-one comparison. Joss Whedon's not saying, "Oh yeah, Confederates are good guys." No, he's not saying that at all. But it is taking this part of American history and then placing it into sci-fi. And I think
I
he
would
handles it
disagree,
very well.
actually.
Oh, really?
I would actually disagree because he does a very, very, because the thing is, if you actually kind of look into the conflict between the Confederates and the Alliance,
Hmm.
it's essentially a states' rights issue, which was, at least that's one of the reasons the Confederates said for the
Right.
Civil War.
Yeah.
What they said. I'm not
That
saying
was
what it actually was.
their spoken
The-
justification.
yeah, I'm not trying to get into Civil War politics here. I'm just getting into like what was stated and whatnot. We're looking at
Yeah.
it from a very high level kind of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting too. I don't know what Joss Whedon's politics are, but
He's
like,
left. He is a left
I
leaning,
would assume that to be the case given his status, former status,
which
in
makes it
Hollywood.
kind of weird. When
Yeah.
he made a show like this, which is,
Hmm.
dare I say, kind of conservative coded. Which is, if you look at
It
it,
really
a lot
is.
of conservatives love the show.
It's at the very least libertarian coded. I kind of assumed he might have libertarian leanings, especially given Inara's profession, But
That's actually one of my favorite jokes of the pilot is, well, somebody on this boat's got to make an honest profession. Hard cut, and you see her literally having sex with somebody. Like it has that kind of Kuzlov effect kind of thing,
Mhm.
where like
Mhm.
somebody's got to have an honest profession. You first thing we cut to her, she's having sex. Like, oh,
Yeah.
she's a prostitute. That's an honest profession.
Yeah.
I do like it how it's one of those like subversion things where like a prostitute is like a very like just her presence gives
Mhm.
Firefly some perceived like, oh, you have a companion on board.
Well, there's another interesting feature of Firefly where they take like sort of Eastern, like maybe like feudal Eastern culture, I guess, and sort of infuse that in to a certain extent.
Oh, that's one of the other things about Firefly I really love is, so according to Joss's lore, the last two superpowers was Earth, was the United States, and China. So
Mhm.
that's why Firefly is a mixture of U.S. and Chinese culture.
Yep, and they do speak Mandarin from time to time, and it's implied that like the more sophisticated people speak Mandarin all the time, and just kind of the rednecks speak English.
Yeah, basically Mandarin is the French of this universe.
Yeah, and funny thing about that time period when it came out is people were saying, "Oh yeah, Mandarin's going to be like the new business language, and they're starting to teach it in schools. And boy, were they wrong. But that was the prediction 20 years ago.
China will rise again. Well,
Yeah, okay.
well, they're gonna have trouble rising if their buildings keep collapsing. But
Ooh.
Oh, but I know the South will rise again. Just following orders. Big history nerd like my uncle. I feel like you don't really need to be a big history nerd to at least know like the just following orders, because that is such a big thing that's like drilled into us, like kind of a no thing. Yeah, I've seen remakes and remakes of I know the Carmania show was mostly forgotten.
I would also argue that in our lifetime we have seen the South rise again, in the sense that there's been an exodus from northern cities, and a lot of the South has become more populated and more industrialized. But that's just an observation.
Yeah, I'm not trying to go into like, I mean, honestly, like northern like Civil War politics, I'm going to admit are an area that I know a little bit about, like mostly like high level, maybe mid level stuff. I am no way an expert. I do not know the minutia. Honestly, anyone who knows about Civil War stuff would kick my butt in debate. So I'm not trying to get into politics here because I am like very outclassed in that kind of stuff. So I'm going to just admit where I know a decent bit, but like I am nowhere near.
I'm a big history nerd, so I'll try not to take it too much in that direction. But
I am a history nerd as well, but like I'm just more like I like lots of history.
Right? Yeah. There was also, I just think it was interesting, like they also incorporated the Eastern part of it. Like concubines in like a lot of Eastern societies were like high status, and that seems to be where they went with the companion role.
Yeah.
Especially with the Mandarin Chinese culture in there being the more sophisticated culture.
Yeah, because like I've always kind of fascinated by this. Like a lot of different stories do that. Like in Wheel of Time, there's these things called Sojin. Which in the Shan language means a height among lowness, which they're servants, but they're high class servants. Like, and there's a line where in the glossary where it says even some of the lesser nobles are very careful to step around, the Emperor Sojin or whatever, and you also so yeah, like or even like let's say you're the cook of the king, or like you're the king's foot servant. You're going to look down upon some random person.
Oh, yeah. It's kind of like in the ancient, like in Persia, like the cup holder was like, they were near the king. Basically at all times, they tested their food. And they were like high status servants.
Yeah, like that's why, like in my novel, the character of Jason, he's the head of the royal guard. He's the highest that the warrior, like he's the highest that the warrior caste can go. But because he has like the direct ear of both the king and the queen, a lot of people, the aristocracy class, he kind of like in practice outranks them, kind of thing. Like that's so I was kind of going with that with my novel Lost Kingdom.
Yeah, it's an interesting way of taking two lores from East and West and mixing them. Also, just kind of a funny coincidence, it really follows very closely on Cowboy Bebop. So you can't entirely say that idea was original.
What do you mean by Cowboy Bebop?
I think Cowboy Bebop did it first, taking that like Western and putting it in the future.
Isn't Cowboy Bebop more like space noir?
It's not the same like Western in the sense that it's post Civil War era, but yeah, they did space noir and Western. They did that first. They didn't do the Civil War.
I think Firefly definitely went more in the Western direction. Like they even like what I love is they basically had lore to why a lot of the planets are like Western towns, because apparently they terraformed everything, but not everything got terraformed all the way. A lot of stuff that got neglected. And then also like obviously they have like a lot of the old style Westerns, like Zoe uses a mare's leg, which is a very classic Western weapon. But they're technically laser pistols. Like the sound effects are not quite, but they're just using like probably save the money in the props department. It's funny. Funny fact. Speaking of ancient Chinese culture, pugs are bred by Buddhist monks. Yeah, because like
It's honor.
yeah, because like certain dogs were meant to be more like lap dogs for royalty and whatnot.
Interesting. But yeah, very
Yeah, that
unique setting that I don't think we've really seen that since Firefly.
no, because the thing with Firefly is it leans heavily into the space western,
Hmm.
which especially at the time it probably saved them a frick ton of money, using sets, props, weapons, and whatnot.
Hmm.
But they make it work. Like a lot of it is the writing carries the show, like the lore they had, the justifications for all this stuff. It just kind of
Hmm.
works.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I like is they actually go different places in their locations. Like I'm a big fan of SG-1, but one complaint I have is like every planet looks like British Columbia.
I
It's
think
'cause it's
it
filmed in
gets even
Vancouver.
worse as you go along. Like I believe like Stargate Universe or whatever. It's just like, oh, every planet is Vancouver.
Yeah, exactly. Why is every planet a lush green forest?
I think what helped is they shot it in California, so like they had very easy access to a lot of those desert locales, and I wouldn't be surprised if they went to like some western towns or whatever
Hmm.
and shot there.
Well, yeah, that's one of the main reasons why Hollywood is located where it is because westerns were popular at the time, and you have access to a lot of geographic locations from Hollywood. You have mountains, desert, ocean, um, and westerns were super popular, so it was really easy to go to the right
Yeah.
location to film a western.
My dog is Beefcake, by the way. He's outlived his sister's shortcake. That's a lot of cake. Uh, sorry, awkward silence. But
Ah,
yeah, let's kind of get into the characters here. Um, so first off, we have the man with the lovely brown coat himself. We have Captain Malcolm Reynolds, played amazingly by Nathan Fillion. Um,
mhm.
yeah, I think this is like a lot of people's first introduction to him, and he is a gem of an actor. And by the way, he's still acting. We saw him in the Superman movie,
Mhm.
so he's still around. He's still in the acting scene, and probably will be for some time. Thank God. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, he did a great job as Guy Gardner. I think he's still out there killing it.
he's like honestly he could I think he voiced Hal Jordan's in some of the stuff. Like he's kind of one of those actors where it's like there's so many roles he could have done, but Hollywood never
Hmm.
really realized how good he was. Like, have you seen the Uncharted fan film with Nathan Drake?
Yes.
It is amazing. He could have
Yeah.
played it. He could have played Nathan Drake.
Oh yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, he could have been Nathan Drake. He could have been Hal Jordan. I mean, voicing him, but like live action, he could have been Hal Jordan.
Speaking of westerns, I really love spaghetti westerns like Outlaw, Jesse Wares, Hang 'em High, Tomb. I don't know those names. I'm not much of a western guy myself, sadly. Never really been my genre, but I know a lot of people love it.
Yeah, I dabble. I dabble in the westerns. There's a movie theater by where I live, and they do outdoor showings of movies.
Mm.
So it is fun. Like I've seen some spaghetti westerns outside. It's pretty fun. I don't know.
Oh.
Random fact.
I've always wanted to do like some of those specialty showings, like you go to the town where Jaws was filmed, and then like they
Ooh,
put the screen on the beach, and you all get on like inner tubes in the water, and like they play Jaws on the beach, and you watch it there. Like that would be a cool experience.
yeah.
Or like you're at the prison where they filmed Shawshank, and they project it onto the walls of the prison or something.
Yeah, I've never done this, but there's a cemetery in Hollywood where they do horror movie screenings at night.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hear. Like honestly, if nothing else, I should probably check out the Dollars trilogy.
Yeah, those are good movies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like Jaws, Water Problem.
Be a little suspenseful. See,
Yeah.
what's and what would be even crazier is like during like the 10 scenes, you have like a scuba dive, you put like a shark fin on a scuba diver and have it like go through the water, that would cause a panic, but
that would cause a panic.
And everyone's always watching the movie and all of a sudden you see like doo oh god.
That would really incite some panic.
Oh gosh. Yeah, watching Jaws on the beach would be great. It really would. It's like so many of those. Like imagine like watching snakes on a plane. On a plane. Train to Busan on a train. There's so many of these. Watching Back to the Future in the future. Oh god.
I guess we always do that now.
True. Because okay. This is a quick aside. Isn't it so weird that the future that Marty goes to is 2015?
Mm-hmm.
We are 10 years removed from the future.
Oh yeah.
Oh gosh. Sorry.
I was just thinking, what if he went to our 2015? How disappointing would that be?
Doc.
We messed up. It's the alternate 2015. We gotta go back and change something.
When we went on our trip to Tennessee, we watched this first one on the plane. No, the way you watch Final Destination is you get in a van, you with one of the flip down DVD players, all right, and then you watch Final Destination on that screen, and if there's a truck with logs on it, you get behind it the entire time you're watching it.
That would be the appropriate way. Man, do you remember when those vans with DVD players were just like the hot new thing?
Oh yeah, and like sometimes you can like hook
around the time when Firefly came out.
I remember growing up, the epitome of cool was having a van with an NES hookup in it.
Ooh, yeah, that's fancy.
Yeah, like a custom van with like the TV on top. You can play NES games on it. Oh gosh, that was like you were the cool kid.
Oh yeah.
If your parents had that van.
Oh yeah. My parents didn't have that van. That would have made me a cool kid for sure. Thanks, parents, for not having that.
I watched Nightmare. Oh, that is. You are brave, sir. You are a brave dino.
So I've wondered this. There is an Elm Street in the town where I live. Like every Halloween, do you think they watch Nightmare on Elm Street? Or do you think they just live in constant fear of nightmares? If you live on Elm Street? I mean, I would if I lived on Elm Street, but that's just me.
I mean, there's probably a lot of that kind of stuff, but yeah. See, Elm is like a common street name. I mean, that's kind of was the entire point of naming it Elm Street, because like Elm is a very it's like a generic street name,
Right.
And that's kind of what they were supposed to evoke is a nightmare in modernity kind of thing.
Yeah, it could be anywhere. Yeah, somewhere in America.
Yeah. It's 10 o'clock. Do you know where your children are?
Yeah.
So yeah, Mal's an interesting character. I would call him a character of contradictions. Especially like the way he treats Inara. I think the best way to sum up the way his interaction with Inara is the episode Shindig, where she's trying to like teach him. He's like, I don't respect your profession. I respect you.
Yeah, because he's talking about, she accuses him of disrespecting, because she's saying, well, you're going to fight this guy for calling me a name, and you call me that name all the time. And he says, I disrespect your profession, but he disrespected you. Yeah,
because the whole thing started because he called her a whore.
Yeah,
the guy called her whore, and he punched her because of that. But he calls her, the whore, because it's actually very like. By the way, that episode was written by Jane Espenson. Because the other thing about Joss Whedon is there's like a family tree of Joss Whedon writers. Like the people who worked on Joss Whedon shows would go on to work on other shows. Like Jane Espenson worked on Battlestar Galactica and like a lot of other things.
Oh, I love that show.
Like Drew Goddard did a lot of stuff. Like he did Angel, then he did Grimm, a lot of stuff. Eventually did actually Drew Goddard did Daredevil.
Yeah, Josh Whedon has spent his whole life surrounded by like really talented people in Hollywood. I don't want to say like elite because that just means you're connected most of the time now. But he really has been surrounded by talented
He
people.
fostered a lot. Yeah, he fostered a lot of talent.
Mhm.
Because if you go back and look at like the Buffy, Firefly, Angel kind of trifecta, there is a lot of writers that would go on to do other things. It's
Mhm.
really interesting.
Mhm.
Nightmare Elm Street is common like Acme or Smith. I would like Drew Goddard is good, but I'm kind of a Jane Espenson fan. Because I'm a fan of Battlestar Galactica. She wrote a lot of the Battlestar Galactica episodes.
Battlestar Galactica is a great show.
Yeah, a lot of that. Like, I'm not saying she was like the main writer, but she wrote a lot of the stuff and a lot of the movies. Yeah, I love the like. I would love to do some of a Battlestar Galactica remake, but like, there's like a hard cutoff at Millennials for Battlestar Galactica because like the past 15 years, the show has been like nowhere.
Right.
How like. Well, I'm just waiting for it to hit Netflix, and I was like, "Oh my god, the show's amazing!"
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, it is one of the inspirations for Call Sign Orion. I even have little 3D figurines.
All right, fine. We'll do your stupid promo.
No, that's all I wanted to say. It's just an inspiration from a comic.
No. We have the segue. We're already talking about it. You've done your thing.
I just have little miniatures right next to me. That's all.
Oh yes, how convenient. All right,
there's just little magnets you could get.
All right,
you know, it's no big deal.
I'm setting the timer for 30 seconds, dick. You got 30 seconds to pitch your shoot. I'm trying not to curse today. All right. You got 30 seconds, all right?
Starting when?
Go. Now.
All right. Do you love Battlestar Galactica? How about classic dystopian like Brave New World or a military sci-fi like Starship Troopers? Well, check out Call Sign Orion. Get plenty of space battle action and Navy SEAL style action and explosions. Plenty of space opera pew pew. And as you can tell, this page is really shiny. This is the moss gloss version that you could get on Fund My Comic. It's a higher quality paper. It really pops off the page. And did I mention I've got trading cards of this character?
Time's up.
All right. Go check it out.
All right. Here's a link to the site. And then just real quick, talk about the fan stuff. Real quick, I'm gonna give you 10 seconds.
Oh yeah, I got an art contest that opened up today. So if you're an artist, check out the details in the chat for my art contest, my fan art contest. I will be publishing the top 5. If I get more than 5 submissions,
all right, time's up. Brevity is the soul of wit, my friend. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh gosh.
I don't know what that means, but I agree.
So Mal's an interesting character. He's very much a kind of a what you see, what you get kind of person.
Yeah.
I
really wanted to interject and say bad in Latin. Because of course that's a line in the show spoken by River.
Oh.
Which I think is no coincidence why, they shorten his nickname to Mal, which just means bad in Latin.
No, I can see that.
Which is another contradiction. He's a good guy whose nickname is bad.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the whole kind of thing. It's like Badger kind of basically calls him out in the first episode. It's like, you're in a den of thieves, and somehow you think you're like he tries to be an honorable thief, and he's kind of bad at it.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, Mel's a very, very interesting character, and I just love Nathan Fillion's portrayal. And I just want to say, I love how Nathan Fillion always tries to put a Firefly reference into all the stuff he's doing.
Yeah,
like literally, there's a whole subgenre of watching Chuck, not Chuck, but the one where it's like a castle. Yeah. Castle Firefly references.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a ton of small ones, but there's one very, very big one. And and I'm gonna show this real quick. We're probably gonna get dinged for it, but all right, let me just.
Hey, I was just trying on my Halloween costume.
What exactly are you supposed to be?
Space cowboy.
Okay, A, there are no cows in space. B, didn't you wear that like 5 years ago?
So,
So don't you think you should move on?
what are you doing? So,
Like I love like. Didn't you wear that like 5 years ago? Don't think you should move on.
Yeah.
By the way, just to get a little bit nerdy, that's actually his outfit from Serenity. That's actually his movie outfit.
That's perfect.
Which we'll kind of talk about that later. But there's also a ton of them. Like, there's one where like there's a shootout, and he's like, "Oh, good shot, Castle." He's like, "I was aiming for the head." And there is one where like he puts on these blue gloves, and he's kind of like looking at them for a moment. The 2x2 hands of blue, kind of thing. Okay, and if you watch Percy Jackson: The Sea of Monsters, he plays Hermes. He actually makes a Firefly reference in that movie.
I haven't seen that movie.
Oh gosh.
You do have to appreciate though that like this is an actor who really understands his fan base.
Yeah. Sorry, I was watching a clip from it. He's like, best show ever, but of course canceled. Yeah, Castle has a lot of Firefly references. A lot.
Should we talk about what a shame it was that got canceled? And I don't know.
Honestly, it was set up to fail from the start. Like, first
James Donors, right?
No, well, eventually it did, like 20 years later.
Okay.
Yeah, Firefly is Disney now. Does that make Inara a Disney princess? Okay. All right. So basically, first off, it was put in the Friday Night Death slot. That alone would probably would have killed it. But they aired the episodes out of order. Just to give you an idea, the first episode was the train job. That was the first episode aired. And what's funny is, so they wrote Serenity, which is a pilot, which is, by the way, the last episode showed. The series finale was the pilot. Sorry.
Wait, the series finale was the train job?
Was Serenity.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's clear.
Serenity, the pilot, the actual pilot. That was the last episode of the show. And there were 4 episodes that weren't even shown. They're shown out of order. And Firefly is kind of a show, like, it's episodic, but like you kind of do need to watch them in order.
There is an order, because I was gonna say so something happens in the train job, and then I think the name of the episode is it Safe? The one where they encounter those gangsters again.
Nowinski, yeah, he does return.
Yeah. So so there is some order, even though it's episodic.
Yeah, but Firefly is like, if you ever watch like Joss Whedon shows, one of the things they do is they're episodic on the surface, but they always have like a character, like the character progression, and they usually dedicate a little bit to like the series theme or whatever, the scene. So like, even though each episode is episodic, they kind of still need to be watched in order, because like the character progression and whatnot, or something will happen that like, or whatever. It's actually kind of brilliant. I'm surprised a lot of writers don't really do this as often.
You should see it more. Like, there's definitely progression between Inara and Mao, and then like Christina Hendricks' character, she comes back several times.
Twice.
Oh, twice. I thought it was 3 times.
But still, I'll take two encounters with Christina Hendricks over nothing. But yeah, like we were talking about this before the show. There's a lot of people in this show, both in the main cast and a lot of the guest stars, who would become famous later. Like we talked about Nathan Fillion, Wash, Alan Tudyk, who is still like he's probably more famous now than he was back then. Like he was one of the robots in Superman.
Yep. He's been in a lot of stuff, and he
Which,
also.
by the way, you have Wash and Mal in the same movie.
Yeah, I know. I did pick up on that. That's pretty fun.
That's one of those things. Like for the next 20 years, anytime you'd have two of the actors together. Like I remember when the V reboot in 2009. You know, they had Marina Backham play Nara. And then, like, you know, Wash was in, like, the first few episodes. It pissed me off that they never met, you know. Because this was 2009. This was still, like, Firefly was still very popular. I mean, it still is, but, you know, it was still kind of in the general mainstream geekdom conscious or whatever.
Yeah. Alan Tudyk, is that how you say his last name? He's another guy who really understands his fan base, because I know he's always making Firefly references. And I think him and Nathan Fillion had like a podcast or something, or a show together.
Yeah.
Where it's just like a fan base show. That's pretty fun.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the appeal of Firefly is there's kind of like this like meta narrative, because the show is about loss and moving on, about losing. And I think there's kind of like this whole meta narrative with Firefly where Firefly was canceled. Firefly will rise again, if you know what I mean.
Right, yeah.
Where I think bringing it back might actually be the worst thing for it. I know that's something that
could be. Yeah.
A lot of the romance is in I'm going to continue the Civil War language, the lost cause.
Oh yeah. Remembering something that, yeah. The romanticizing of it because it's gone for sure.
And let's be honest. Well, first off, it's gonna be kind of difficult because like Ron Glass, the guy who played Book, passed away. I know he died in Serenity, you know, but like honestly, for the longest time, I thought the only way to bring back Firefly was animated, because all the other actors are always so busy. You know. Nathan Fillion's doing like everything. Marina Backham is pretty regular because you know she's in Deadpool and like lots of other things. Alan Tudyk is when Disney needs a wacky voice, they hire him.
Oh yeah,
you know, I mean, good for him. He's keeping himself busy. But yeah, they're always so busy. The only way I think he could get it done is with animation. He's cramming them all into a booth.
Right.
But even then, it's like with this kind of thing. Do you trust them to do it right?
There are Firefly comic books that I haven't read. I probably should give those a read.
Yeah, and I know they've kind of answered some stuff because like Shepherd Book has like this mysterious past and whatnot. I don't know. It's like people say it probably would have gotten crap as the show went on, but you got to remember. Josh and crew were still in their prime at this time. So this show came out during the last season of Buffy, and then Angel went on for like another like 1 or 2 seasons after that. You know. So like let's say Firefly had gone on for 5 seasons. Like, it would have ended in like 2007, 2008. You know, kind of thing. Honestly. I think it probably would have maintained its quality.
I think it's probably the case. Yeah, it would have been interesting to see. Well, if it never got canceled, they probably would have never done the movie until later. So they wouldn't have come out.
Would have never done the movie at all,
or not at all.
The movie was basically greenlit off the strength of the DVD sales.
Oh yeah, it's interesting because the movie does wrap up a lot of loose ends. So like Mal. In the pilot Serenity, he clearly has religious faith. Like he kisses a cross and he said, "God won't let us die. We're too pretty," or something like that. And then, you know, it's basically the Battle of Gettysburg, the Battle of Serenity Valley. And so then they lose badly, and then he loses his faith. And the next time you see him, like after when he's like when he picks up Shepherd Book, he's totally abandoned religion, and he says, "God ain't welcome on my boat." And
That's definitely a subtext that runs through the series.
mhm.
But like the problem is they didn't wrap up all the storylines. Like they pretty much totally abandoned Book. Like his storyline. Honestly, Serenity basically the big thing is it wrapped up River's storyline.
It backed up River mainly. You get some of that redemption of the Mal, because Book even says when he's dying, like, just stand for something. And then so that that's kind of a redemption point for Mal. Book, he has a lot of backstory that they didn't really get into unless you count the comic books. But yeah, there's a lot of loose ends that I think they tried to wrap up.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I do like how like Josh wanted when going into the final battle, he wanted it to be like, okay, anyone could die. That's why he was killing people off. That's why he killed Wash or what that. All right, you take care, Happy Dino. There's a Firefly online.
I did not know this.
Imagine a Firefly game in the style of Star Wars Outlaws. That would be interesting.
That would be interesting.
Never gonna get it happen. Imagine they do like. That's one thing they could do is make a Firefly game and like bring back as much of the cast as they can.
That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be crazy. Well, the question is, where do you set the story? Because like you kind of want to have Wash there because Alan Tudyk he's a bigger star now than he was back then. He would be a draw.
Well, considering that, because I was just thinking, like, where would you pick that up? I think a good place to do it would maybe be just after the events of Serenity, and then do a lot of flashbacks where Wash is there.
I disagree. I would set it in between the show and Serenity because there is a gap of time. Because like where stuff happens, where Shepherd Book leaves, Anara leaves, I would have it. Because what I would do is have it set after both Anara and Book leave, and just have like a mini adventure lead up to the events of Serenity because there's kind of a gap there. Because you also need to count for Ron Glass because like Ron Glass is not there.
So it would be kind of like Shadows of the Empire.
Kind of, yeah. That's the only way that I can think of because there's a bit of a gap of time to where you could probably do like a whole game worth of story there, an adventure. Like I would probably have it like have Book leave first, so that we can still have Anara there, and then like basically the end, her whatever.
Well, Inara talks about leaving in the last episode, if you're like in the proper order. The last.
Okay,
episode.
that's true. That's true.
So she would probably leave first. Either way, Shadows of the Empire, I like that angle.
Yeah, just something to have Wash there. It was being developed by Sparkplug Games. Oh yeah, I gotcha.
I do think there's story to be told though, and I think they do this in the comic books. I really gotta read these comic books, but I'm pretty sure like there's like a storyline where I'm forgetting character names. This is terrible. The second in command, Zoe, where Zoe is actually pregnant with Wash's baby.
With the amount of times that they're humping, I'm surprised it hasn't happened sooner.
Right. But then, she's raising this baby that's Wash's baby and then grieving Wash. And then there could be a lot of flashbacks with Wash in it. I would do something like that.
That's possible. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that would be interesting, I would say. Like the game design template is there. Like look at Guardians of the Galaxy game. That could that you could easily take that format and make it a Firefly game.
Yeah, you could. It could be done.
But yeah, it just really sucks because because Firefly. It's one of those things where it's like anytime you show it to people, they're like, "Oh my god, this is amazing."
Yeah,
I don't know, like. even if it had been shown in order, it was still the Friday night death slot, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, Firefly, and this is going to be a weird analogy, but just bear with me. Firefly is like the Sega Dreamcast, all right? It's amazing. It burned bright for a time, and then it snuffed, and its legacy is predicated on what could have been.
Mm.
So, you know, it's almost like you kind of don't want to see what would have happened, because who knows? You know, maybe there's a timeline where Firefly did happen. It got canceled in season 3. You know,
yeah.
Because by the mid 2000s, Joss was kind of losing his luster as a writer, I would say. Because remember he did stuff like Dollhouse.
Yeah, he fizzled as a writer, and then.
Well, the only good thing about is basically Josh had this Empire shows, and what he did is he created it and he was part of it, but they're always kind of run by somebody else. Like Angel was run by Drew Goddard. Firefly was actually kind of Tim Minner's show, or whatever how you say his name.
Yeah, he was an idea guy and a director and a showrunner, but that's what a lot of like greats in Hollywood are, you know.
And one thing I do want to say is we're going to talk about this earlier is we talk about Joss and we talk about like how much we appreciate his writing, and I do appreciate his writing, but we kind of need to have this conversation of separating art from the artist, because Joss, like, honestly, I don't ever want to meet Joss Whedon, because I would not like him and he would not like me. Like Josh would sooner spit on me, you know, kind of thing. So like, I very much admire his works. To say that I'm heavily inspired by his writing would be stupid not to claim otherwise. But at the same time, I need to acknowledge he's not a good person.
Yeah, he's definitely built a negative reputation for himself professionally. Yeah, I probably feel the same. I'd probably find him insufferable if I met him, but then I'm a big fan of the work he's done. Yeah,
and I think it's really important is you can be a fan of something and not like the person who created it. This is my message for all you Harry Potter fans. It's okay to like Harry Potter. It's okay to consume Harry Potter. But you don't have to like the author. I like Firefly. I like Buffy. I'll gladly buy Buffy merch. I'll gladly like if there's a Firefly land in Universal, I'll go there. I mean, Joss doesn't get any of the money, but you know what I mean. So
Totally.
let's pretend that Joss Whedon was getting money. I'd go there anyway.
Yeah.
You know, I want to get my picture taken with Inara, the Inara.
Right.
Oh gosh, you know, if there's a Firefly land, the Inara actor would be the most popular.
Absolutely.
Oh gosh.
I'm pretty sure they still have brown coat conventions.
Oh, they probably do. One of these days, I probably will do a Mal cosplay. I know. For Halloween one year, I was Jane Cobb. I think I might have a picture of it. Let me kind of just look real quick. So just tell me, what does Firefly mean to you?
Me?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that old Western, but in outer space. So like, I love the theme. You know, the theme song, the lyrics of the song are
Take my love, take my lamp. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah, like the idea you can't take my sky from me. Like it's like they're like sailors, but also cowboys, and it's like this idea of like there's this endless unknown adventure of like no matter how much the long arm of the law, the man is kind of going to encroach on you, you could always go a little bit further away and find your kind of adventure and make your own way out there. And that's kind of, I think, at the heart of it.
Yeah, like Mal is always referring to his ship as the boat. Yeah, that's kind of thing. It's like they take like the themes of the West, you know, and honestly, here's a real tragedy. Okay, I would have loved for Firefly to get a full run, and it ends in 2007, and then like Disney Plus does a Firefly reboot, but they kind of set it where like the West is being won, you know, kind of like that red, like like that Red Dead Redemption stuff, where like the West is
Mhm.
the West is at the end of the West.
Mhm.
Civilization has finally come to the West. Like
Mhm.
I think that concept would be really interesting for in like a Firefly setting. Because like, have you played Red Dead Redemption?
No.
Because like one of the big themes of Red Dead Redemption is the end of the Wild West, civilization finally coming to tame the Wild West. You know,
Mm.
the West finally being won. If you know what I'm saying.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I think that would be really interesting. We're like, oh, it's like 20 years later. The Alliance is actually terraforming a lot of these planets. They're actually kind of good now. Is there a need for these outlaws anymore? Because in the Firefly verse, these outlaws actually do serve a very needed purpose.
Mhm.
You know, they can smuggle things to some of these colonies can only survive because of these kind of people.
Mhm.
So I think it'd be a very interesting concept for like the Firefly crew. You know, 20 years later, you know, maybe some of them are gone, some have shuffled out, but maybe Mal's the last one. You
Mhm.
know, where he's like he just can't give it up. You
Mhm.
know, but it's finally over. Where even the jobs, you know, everyone else has gone legit or whatever. You know,
Mhm.
and like. He's the last one or whatever, and he, you know, kind of thing. I think that story would be really interesting for Firefly.
Yeah, that would be interesting. The one loose end I would think of would be the Reavers, which they tackled in Serenity, but like
Yeah, they pretty
they,
much like got the origin for the Reavers done, which I
but
think was pretty good.
they don't. If that were the case, if you're going that far ahead of like there is no more out there, there's no more sky, as it were.
Yeah,
You would have to look at what happens post Reaver revelation. It's kind of like I don't know, Watergate or Snowden. It's like this big scandal was exposed. So how are people going to react to that?
and honestly, the way I would do it is since it's 20 years later, I would say there was a big shakeup at the Alliance military from the top down, and they actually started to give a crap about people on the outer edges, and that's what started them, you know, terraforming and you know finishing the terraforming, making things more prosperous people on the edges. And what you could say is Serenity was actually the beginning of the end for that lifestyle because it actually forced the Alliance to actually do stuff. You know,
Interesting.
that's
Interesting.
what I. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just kind of thinking on the fly here. Um, yeah, I think that would be kind of interesting. You know.
That would be interesting. I would be tempted to write it as like a noir. Like it seems like it's going to be good, but then it turns out it's like it's Chinatown in space.
I don't know. To me, the tragedy is you know Mel having to give up his way of life. That to
Mm,
me is the Greek tragedy right there. Is you know nothing lasts forever. You know the good times eventually turn
mm,
sour. You know, and like you know Mal is the last person. Like maybe he has like a whole new crew. You
mm,
know, and like you know like actually I would probably do this as like an 8 to 12 episode limited series where like and you see a lot of the other people like you know and they're all living lives or
mm,
whatever, and then he's like, why are you still doing this? Kind
mm.
of thing. And he goes like one last job. You do that kind of thing, and basically the ending to Mal is he lives with Anara,
Yeah, that would be the
settles
happy
down with
ending.
her.
Yeah, that would be the happy ending for Mal for sure. It is
Mhm.
interesting because Mal's whole character arc is like, I believe in something and now I don't, and now I'm just kind of wandering, and then it's now I believe in something again, and
And what is the thing you believed? You know, like the you can't
yeah,
take this guy from me. What you
right,
know? And, I mean, because that's the whole thing is. I do love like those Western stories, like kind of like with Logan, you know, where it's based off of Shane. You
mm-hmm,
know, like the last job of the gunslinger. You know,
mm.
I find it to be very interesting.
Yeah, that would be an interesting story to follow. They could still do that, you know. Nathan Fillion is the right age to do something like that.
So if I were to revive Firefly, I just give it one season. One
Mhm.
season. A farewell tour.
Just let people know, like, so they're not disappointed. All you get this time is one season, so
yeah, be very vocal.
seasons.
This is one season. You're getting 12. You're in 8 to 12 episodes. We're gonna wrap everything. We're gonna wrap all of it up.
Yeah.
Like basically, like Simon has fully re-integrated in Alliance. He's like the chief medical person, or whatever.
Just kidding.
No.
He would be the anti-Fauci since his sister was experimented on.
We're not going there, sir.
Yeah, he would be the anti.
No politics.
No
Politics. Please.
Anti-authority guy. Yeah.
I would have Jane be the mayor of Janestown. Like he's actually like the responsible leader of the town now.
I could see that, like a Lando Calrissian type of character.
Yeah, like Zoe has her own ship, but it's a perfectly legitimate shipping business.
Yeah, that could work.
Let's see, where would I put Kaylee? Probably like a mechanic somewhere, or like owns a company. I don't know.
Yeah, should do something like that.
Anara, I would put her as like a one of the leaders of the companions. Like maybe she's even the leader of the guild. I don't know.
Or she gives up the guild. I don't know. It'd be interesting. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't see her giving up the guild. That's the very big part of our identity. Like that kind of thing is like a whole storyline in and of itself. So
right, yeah, totally is. That's yeah. You need more episodes to get through all that.
Yeah, literally the only one who lives a wild lifestyle is River, but she's not on the ship. But she's just like taking down all the remnants, but she's fully cognizant now.
Yeah. What would River do post being experimented on?
Well, the thing is, like, I feel like at the end of Serenity, she's not quite there, but she's a lot more stable.
Yeah.
I mean, even at the beginning of Serenity, she's a lot more stable. But like, because at the end, she's kind of found her peace a little bit, but I don't think she's fully healed.
Right. She'd have a lot of healing to do.
Yeah. See, the thing is, the question is, do Simon and Kaylee, I think they would work while they're on the Firefly. But like, if you take them out of it, Simon is always going to be an establishment dude. He always will be. And Kaylee just wants to work on engines. She could never be a housewife for Simon. Never.
That is true. They only work on Firefly. Even like there's that one episode where Simon is trying to explain why he's attracted to Kaylee. He's like, "You're literally the only girl in the universe." She's like, "Oh wow, thanks."
Yeah, it's kind of one of those like lack of options kind of thing.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the other thing. Like Simon, why didn't the actor get more work? He's got like the quintessential Hollywood good looks.
Yeah, that is odd. It just reminds me of Jamestown, where it's like, yeah, we needed someone who fits in as all, fancy and whatnot and pasty and blah blah blah. He's like, all right, just stop describing me.
That's the that's the other thing. It's like I love how Simon throughout the this is one of those things like. He literally like he gets more and more unbuttoned as the series progresses. Like you notice when you first see him, he's got everything, but like his clothes become like literally his clothes get looser as the series goes on, and I love that visual indicator. Like you can tell where his character is just by looking at what his clothes.
Yeah, it's definitely relaxing more, and he talks about like being proper, and that's how it's all he's got left. But then he lets that go over time.
Yeah, like also like the Jamestown thing where like he says, "Son of a."
Yeah. Right. Yeah. There's a lot of subtle growth, and that's fun.
But yeah, what's your favorite episode?
So this is a tough one, and this is where I got narrowed down to a few, and I pulled up all the names. So Jamestown is definitely one of my favorites. I like Ariel because they impersonate paramedics, and that's fun.
My favorite scene is they spend so much time learning that language stuff, and when they
Oh
go
my
and they're like,
gosh,
"Oh,
yeah,
just go,
so good.
just go there,"
It's
and
so
Jane just like
good.
spouts it anyway because like I spent all this time learning it, I'm gonna do it anyway. I love
Yeah,
it.
that was hilarious and like kind of realistic of what it's actually like. Like you learn this formality. This is how you deliver a handoff, and they're like, yeah, whatever. It's pretty
And my
funny.
other favorite part is like Simon is a true doctor. Like I love how he's like, we need to get River over here, but there's
Mhm.
this other patient who's clearly having problems. He just can't help himself. He goes
Yeah.
over there and does it, risking everything,
Mhm.
even beyond his sister.
Yeah.
But and I think that's really great for his character, honestly.
Yeah, because that's just at the core of who he is. I think I come to like 4 maybe, and that's hard because I like them all for different reasons. I like Jamestown, like Ariel, I like Out of Gas, and The Message. I'd say those are my top 4
Out of
episodes.
Gas is a good one because it's like
And Shindig is like a close like 5th. But that's like half the episodes.
mercy is the mark of a great man.
Yeah.
I'm just a good man. I'm okay.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not a big fan of the episode Bushwhack because
That's my
it's
least
kind of
favorite.
it's kind of 2 episodes in one. Like it's one of those things where like they do an episode and then halfway through it's like, oh wait, crap, we ran out of story. Let's just do something else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Bushwhacked is definitely my least favorite.
Yeah, our Mrs. Reynolds is one of my favorites. Shindig is probably my favorite as well. Let's see here.
Yeah, I like Shindig because it exposes who Mal is, and he's got like good old fashioned values, even though he's kind of a scoundrel.
Yeah, The Message is pretty interesting.
The Message and Out of Gas I like for the same reasons.
I'm not a fan of Objects in Space.
That's the last one, right?
Yeah, that is technically the finale. Actually,
I'm not a big fan of that one either. Yeah.
I mean, if it does have a little bit of a finale kind of thing, because like it feels like that's the moment that River herself is accepted.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, permission to come aboard, Captain, and he kind of lets her on, like, because obviously, what is it? Safe is basically where it's kind of like that moment where Simon and River are like, yeah, you're part of the crew now.
Mm-hmm. I hate. I mean, the Safe. What I don't like about Safe is it's just this trope you see in a lot of other shows of where like religious people are all just like backwoods crackpots.
Yeah, one little funny thing is I like that moment where like the mayor is about to let them go, and then he starts revealing that the mayor killed the last mayor. He's like, "Oh, she's a witch."
Yep.
That's a very Joss Whedon-esque joke, I would say.
Yeah,
it's classic kind of thing. Out of Gas is oh wow, I'm looking at Google. They have season 1, episode 5 is listed twice. That's actually kind of funny.
Interesting.
Apparently, Out of Gas comes before. That's weird because I'm watching the DVDs, and Out of Gas is not. That's sorry. It's weird. Yeah, Trash. I don't know. Like, there's no way Mal would have gotten involved with Anara, with us, with Saffron. After that first episode, there's no way. Like, I do like how, like, yeah, she's gonna double cross us, and it's nice that they got the upper hand on her.
Mm-hmm.
But like, why?
Yeah.
Also, one thing they didn't explore with Saffron is she's companion trained.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's a story detail that's like really interesting. Like I'm pretty sure because I feel like Saffron would have been a character that would have kept coming back.
Oh yeah,
because she's just so she's the Catwoman of the series.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, you get the impression you're not done with Saffron.
Yeah, she's definitely a character they would have brought back over and over again.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but
And Badger is Badger's another character they would have brought back again.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Mark Shepard is just amazing, man. He's in
I
everything.
do like how River toyed with Badger. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, my favorite's like claim to be in the slammer, but not as much as you actually claim.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that is funny.
I also love just the little details, like, oh, I've never met someone from the old colony.
Yeah,
You know, like I just love how they sprinkle little details in here. It may or may not have impacted my writing. You know, basically just like that one line opens up a whole another world of story. Like, so apparently there's a British colony somewhere, you know? Which, by the way, would actually make sense why the British accent has survived to this day.
Yeah, right.
Because if there could be a space Boston in Star Wars, there can be a space London in Firefly. And why am I talking like an Italian right now? Bada bing, bada boom. You know, give me the latinum. I got the guns. I'm pretty flow about it.
There's an Italian colony too, apparently.
No, okay. I don't know if you get the joke. So, in The Mandalorian, they had Bill Burr on the show.
Oh yeah.
Who has a very pronounced Boston accent.
Yeah.
So the joke is apparently there's a space Boston.
I mean, there's accents from all over in Star Wars, but yeah, sure. I could see a lot of Star Wars cities being a space Boston.
Maybe there's a space Chicago where they can really, really good at pizza pie.
Yeah, some deep dish.
I prefer Tatooine style pizza. Thank you very much. I like I like sliced womp rats on my pizza. God dang it!
Is that like pineapple?
Star Wars, don't you do that?
Now, who's putting the pineapple on pizza? Is that a Carillion thing or what?
Corellia does strike me as Space California, to be honest.
Yeah, they would put the pineapple on the pizza.
No, Nabubian style is they'd have sliced avocados on the pizza.
Oh no.
I mean, I don't know what's going on in California, but the stuff they put on pizza is like,
what were you thinking?
What were you thinking?
We just like to experiment, man. But yeah, I of the episodes that are my favorites, I would say The Message and Out of Gas I like for the same reason, because they follow.
The Message has a really good ending. Apparently that was like the last scene they shot.
Oh really?
So like they kind of shot it like a funeral scene or whatever, like the last thing ever. Honestly, if I were to have something be the last episode, it probably would be The Message, because the way it ends, it kind of feels like a series finale.
That does feel like a fitting ending for the series. And it just follows this, this consistent theme that like the crew looks out for each other, even at the end of the pilot episode Serenity, where Simon is saying, why'd you do all this for me? Like, I got you in all this trouble and blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, you're on my crew. He's like, yeah, but blah, blah, blah. He's like, you're on my crew. What don't you understand? And there's this consistent message there. Like the crew looks out for each other.
And the other consistent message they have is just keep moving on. If you can't run, you walk. If you can't walk, you crawl. And if you can't crawl, you find somebody to do it for you. I mean, that's the message.
Find someone to carry you, yeah.
Carry you, yeah. And that's basically kind of the core thesis of the show is just keep moving forward. Stuff will happen. Just keep moving forward or whatever.
Keep moving forward, and you get by with a little help from your friends.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's kind of the enduring legacy of the show is just keep going, keep flying. It's like at the end of Serenity where he says like, "That's not much. It's enough."
Yeah. Yep.
Just enough to keep them flying and get them to the next job. And yeah, it's something that's why I think it kind of resonates with a lot of people, because like a lot of people kind of live on that constant edge of just 2 steps away from ruin, and you got to keep walking. And it may seem daunting, but just got to keep walking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's kind of why Firefly means so much to people, because it is the ultimate underdog story.
Yeah. Absolutely. Man, now I just want more Firefly. I wish they'd just bring it back.
Who's your favorite character?
I'd say definitely Mal. That's an easy one.
Why Mal?
Mal, because he's that guy who like understands like what it is to take care of the crew. Like even when he's a wanderer, he still looks out for people. Even when he even doesn't believe in much, he still got Zoe. He finds Jane. He takes in all these strays, and like he's just constantly looking out. And then when one of them steps out of line, like an Ariel at the end, he pretends he's gonna kill Jane, and then he doesn't.
Yeah, I love in the next episode, it's like, oh, Jane bought a whole bushel of apples. Like, that's what I love about Jane is he's kind of like that rogue where like kind of has like he seems like a full-on bastard, and most of the time he is, but he's got a bit of a heart to him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he bought the bushels, I think, out of guilt.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, Jane's like a guy who probably had like a rough upbringing, you know, and it's just kind of like, I mean, that's what I like out of Gas, because they give these characters, it's got very much the same message as the episode The Message, but they give the backstory to all these characters that you don't get backstory on in the Serenity pilot. And one of those is Jane's backstory, where they find him and he's just like a marauder who's there to rob them. And then it's like, oh, what? You share a bunk? You want your own bunk? You want double the pay? He like turns on his own guys.
And I love that, because that is a very Mal and Zoe way to get out of a jam.
Right. He's like, you know, threatening to kill us is not the incentive you think it might be. Try and get information out of him. It's like, tell us so I could shoot you.
Like, yeah, like honestly, like Jane's character is just kind of building up to a moment. It's like, Jane, I haven't paid you this month. Yeah, why are you still here? You needed the help, or whatever, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
My favorite character is Kaylee.
Oh, really?
She's cute as a button, and she knows how to work on engines. She's like, honestly, she's like my perfect girl.
You like your women covered in engine grease. Well, you're from the Detroit area. That makes sense.
I mean, it's good lubricant. Sorry, I had the joke. It's like, do I say it? Do I say it? Oh, I said it. No,
that is a good moment.
Yeah,
there's a good moment between. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'll talk over you this time.
Oh, there's a good moment between Simon and Kaylee where he's like, "Yeah, you're cute when you're covered in great engine grease. No, especially when you're covered in engine grease."
But yeah, I don't know. It's just like I said, she's going and like there's something just weird about me. It's like women who are like competent or something, like, you know, like let's say you have a woman at the range and she's like, you know, shooting really well or whatever, you know, like, ooh, you shoot a gun really well. You know, that kind of thing. I don't know. I like competency or whatever.
You would like one of my characters. I'm not going to plug too much, but there's a...
I haven't even plugged Screecher yet, you bastard. All right. We're plugging Screecher.
I do have a planet that's kind of like Texas, so like people.
All right,
like,
we're talking about Screecher now, you bastard.
Yeah. Do it.
All right, so Screecher number 4, An Owl's End, is currently on Kickstarter, and dare I say, you guys are super freaking awesome. We're still in the first week, and we are over 79% there. So yeah, this is really, really cool. And yeah, if you could back it, that would be nice. That'd be nice.
Be nice.
Just get me over the hump and whatnot. Like, let me just kind of play the trailer quick, and then we'll return to Firefly.
My name is Avery Fletcher, and it's time to set things right. It's high time for this to end. For too long, I've been on the back wing, whether it's by Kathleen or her crony Shiva. Now is not the time for consideration. Now it's the time to act. I will save my father before Eden can kill him. I will right the wrongs Kathleen Johnson has done. I will do this, or die trying. How, you ask? Well, not as myself, but as Screecher.
Nice. So yeah, here we are with that. Yeah, I mean, honestly, all the characters are just great.
So Zoe's your. What about Zoe? If you like the competent women, she's ever been with a warrior woman?
The problem is she's flat. There's nothing to her. Like Wash and Zoe are kind of the weakest characters wise. They get no character development. They're just there. Basically every other character gets like some sort of character arc, but those two, I like them. They're good characters and nice to watch on screen. But they have nothing. They have no story. They have no backstory. No hint to their past. Like, oh, she's Mal's war buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, her and and they're married. And hell, Anara has more of a character arc or whatever.
Yeah. That's true. They're kind of like the stable. They add some stability to the ship, I guess you could say.
Honestly, my favorite relationship in the series is the friendship between Anara and Kaylee. It is. It's always nice to watch because they're genuine gal pals.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a genuine friendship there, and it's. To be fair, it's kind of like Simon and Kaylee, where it's like kind of they're out of convenience.
Mm-hmm.
Because what does Anara have to relate to Zoe? Whereas Kaylee is, the thing I like about Kaylee is she's a mechanic, but she's still a girly girl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think she looks up to, it's kind of like a big sister, little sister kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
And I like it. One of my favorite moments is in Safe, where they're in the store and he says some bad stuff, and then they walk out, and then Nara kind of just gives them a look like, you just messed up.
Right. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. That is definitely how girls would interact on a ship. Like Simon's just a dumb boy who says dumb things.
Oh, Simon, if you weren't so good looking, I'd hate you.
Yeah. That's why Kaylee likes him. It's out of convenience. Just a good looking guy.
Yeah, and the problem is the actor didn't really do much roles. I think the biggest thing he did is the New 52 animated DC movies they did?
Yeah.
He voiced Nightwing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I gotta say, actually, his all right, okay. I'm just gonna play this clip real quick, and you recognize the voice.
But I'm stuck babysitting. No, I'm not kidding. You're wearing what? The red one? With the lace and the thong? Please, don't tell me anymore. Tomorrow night, I promise, we'll...
You can hear it. You can, hear it.
Yeah, you can kind of hear it.
And I gotta say, he's actually, got a good voice for Nightwing.
Yeah, that works.
So, yeah, that's actually the same actor.
That's interesting.
Simon.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's always cool to like see them pop up and whatnot. Like obviously Adam is a Baldwin, so he shows up in places.
Yeah.
Especially like the priest stuff, because Adam was Animal Mother in Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah, that's right.
Which, if you actually look at it, he's playing a very Jane-esque role in that one.
Yeah, that is funny.
I wonder if like they just like Joss is watching Full Metal Jacket and be like, there's our Jane.
Right.
He's kind of playing a little more articulate Animal Mother, if you think about it. Which, no knock against him. But yeah, obviously Alan Tudyk is blown up. Jewel State, the actress for Kaylee, she's done a few things. Like I think she was like Stargate Universe, Stargate Atlantis. Stargate Atlantis.
Atlantis, yeah, it is Atlantis. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one that had like Robert Ricardo and Jason Momoa in it. I think she's done a few things.
Man, what a good era for sci-fi the 2000s were.
I would say like the 90s and the 2000s.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a new golden age for sci-fi.
Yeah. It really was.
Like it started with TNG, but like we got like such good sci-fi in the 90s and the 2000s.
We really did.
People talk about the sci-fi of the 90s, and it's really Babylon 5, Sequest, but like in the 2000s, we got Firefly, Battlestar Galactica, Star Trek Enterprise. I think is worthy of that conversation. Like so much good. And by the way, I'm talking about television sci-fi.
Yeah, television sci-fi, because you had SG-1, then you had Stargate Atlantis. There was just so much good stuff.
So much good stuff. We did not know how good we had it, honestly.
No, we didn't. No. But you gotta keep moving on.
Yeah, gotta keep flying. Keep flying. Let's see here. Yeah, Shepard Book was great. He was kind of like the moral center with the heart of, he was kind of like the moral center of the show. But also like I love it when they have like preachers who kind of like bend the rules a little bit. Where like, hey Shepard, doesn't your little book have stuff about killing? Yes, several passages in fact, but they're a little fuzzy on kneecaps. Like I love those like preacher type characters who kind of like the preacher with the shotgun, like get off of God's kind of thing.
Yeah, totally.
The badass preacher. I think there's a TV trope for it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the thing about Firefly is it's iconic in every sense of the word. Like there's so many iconic lines. Like if you like, it's really weird watching the show where it's like every other line, like, oh, I remember that line. Oh, I remember that line. Kind of thing. We're not thieves. Well, we are.
Yeah.
or like he just kicks the guy into the tire, like, and he's like, here it is. Like, oh no, I get it.
Yeah, right.
or like the Niski one where it's like, well, the captain says, husband says, like, take me, sir. Take me hard, like that whole like how Zoe and Mal are just like doing that thing just to like mess with
mess with Wash, just the awkwardness of it.
one of the best moments is Wash does the crazy Ivan, and the first thing Zoe says is, "Excuse me, Captain, I need this man to take all my clothes off." Like
just like work.
Like they have a very healthy relationship.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously there's some conflict where like Wash's big thing is Mal is Zoe's work husband.
Yeah, right.
Like like that kind of dynamic, work wife, work husband. Like we see it all the time in real life, that can cause some friction with your partner. Except they're all on the same ship, so it's like in his face.
Right. And then there's the war stories, which they go over in that episode. I can't remember the name of that episode where they find Nitska again.
I love how in the backstory, they gave Wash a mustache.
Right.
That was kind of funny.
But yeah, they have their conflict, Zoe and Wash, but they are like the stability of the ship at the same time. They're kind of mom Everyone else is just the crazy kids.
Yeah, like this is a great thing about ensemble shows is like kind of the ways certain characters intersect. Like, oh, they're friends with this person, but that person hates that person, but they're friends with that person. You know,
Right.
The thing that's kind of subtle about the show is Nara's kind of like a mother to River. You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like she's often
like a
on
big
babysitting,
sister to Kaylee.
but she's very motherly. Like she calls her sweetie in a lot of aspects or whatever. And that's the thing that I love about the show is its subtlety, like the subtlety with like how they do stuff. And then like Kaylee, there's not many interactions with River, but like they're generally pretty positive. And then like I also love Book and River interactions, like like the stuff about the Bible and whatnot, where like he's trying to correct it and whatnot. You know, I think that's pretty cool, pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was an interesting interaction.
Yeah, like that's just the thing. It's like they're all a really big family, and just interesting like the dynamics between the characters and whatnot. See, it plays out in a way that you can only get on a TV show.
Yeah, you wouldn't get so much of that in the movie.
And I think that is something that's kind of lost upon us in our age of like 8-episode streaming services. And it's not 8 episodes; it's 8 episodes broken into 2 parts because that streaming service they just have to do the binge watch model, but they want those multiple subscriber numbers. So they break it into 2 parts, and so each part is kind of its own thing.
Totally.
Say what you will. I actually like it better when a streaming service releases a show on a weekly basis.
Yeah, I think it is better because then you can't binge watch it.
Yeah, like for example, Stranger Things season 3 dropped. I watched it all in one day, and that's a problem with the Netflix model. Is it comes out, people maybe talk about it for a week, and it's on to the next thing. But look at Invincible, Invincible. It's like 2 to 3 months of like speculation and talk, and I think it has a bit more impact, honestly.
Yeah. I think you got to give it time to build. Don't allow people to watch it all in one sitting. As much as it might get you like short-term subscribers, maybe it's not really worth it in the end. If it's one of your flagship shows, you want people to talk about it for a while. I
mean, don't get me wrong. I love like the whole 8-hour movie concept. Like, have you ever watched The Queen's Gambit?
No.
That is a limited series on Netflix. It has Anna Taylor-Joy where she's like a chess prodigy in the 60s. It's an 8-hour movie. And I think that format actually lends itself to certain, like a book adaptation. Like, okay. I think one of the best things that Warner Brothers is doing with the Harry Potter thing is giving each book a season.
Yeah, that's smart.
Yeah, so like you can do the Philosopher's Stone in like 8 episodes, and it actually be really good. Like you don't have to really cut anything out at that point. Versus like something like Stranger Things, which is an ongoing narrative, some stuff doesn't really lend itself well to the 8-hour movie. Versus some stuff actually works better as like a weekly thing where like it simmers and builds, and I think the Joss Whedon format of television storytelling lends itself well to the weekly format. Because like you can binge like Buffy and it works. But the way it was designed for like a weekly thing.
Yeah.
And then also like you can kind of air them out of order like on reruns, and you can enjoy the episode. But to enjoy it, you really need to watch it in order.
Yep. Yeah, it's something that we lost with streaming, for sure.
Yeah, because like remember in the 2000s, they were airing Angel on TNT every morning, every day for like forever. Up until like the 2010s, like, and Buffy was the same thing. So like, I watched Angel out of order, but like, you can still watch the episode and have fun.
Right. Yeah. And Firefly is very much the same. You don't need to watch it in order. I mean, obviously, it wasn't even aired in order.
you kind of do.
For some parts of it.
If you want the story, You need to watch in order.
But a lot of seasons are like that, and like you piece it together. You could hypothetically just see episodes and then piece them together. Be like, oh well, this obviously happened before that kind of thing.
Yeah, but airing out of order was a big problem for the show, isn't it? Because people were confused.
That did hurt it. I'm just saying, if we were playing all the time and you caught it later, like years later, maybe after it ended or something. Yeah.
Yeah, when you have like, you know, instead of having like 12 episodes, you have like 30 or 50, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I think SG1 kind of had a similar format.
Yeah, kind of did. Yeah, there's definitely like an overarching story in SG1.
So yeah, like I call it the Joss Whedon form, but it is not new. Like
No.
X-Files was basically they'd have their monster of the week, but like 1 or 2 episodes every season was a mythology episode. That was a Chris Carter. That's what Chris Carter called them.
Mm.
You know, about the mythology of the series.
Mm-hmm.
But largely every episode was standalone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, SG1's basically like that, but then they have the overarching mythology, if you will, about like what the big villain's doing. And
by the way, I
on.
consider X-Files to be like the first big geek show.
Yeah.
In the modern age. I mean, honestly, if you want to say first big geek show, it's Star Trek TOS.
Yeah.
But in the modern age, it is X-Files. Like X-Files is like the first, because remember, X-Files kind of came about during the internet age.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it kind of even embraced it to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like X-Files is kind of like the first modern big geek show.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah, kind of is that.
Because literally the first big geek show is Star Trek TOS. That was the beginning.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like geek fandom as we know it started with Star Trek TOS. Like I know there was stuff before then, but geekdom as we know it started with Star Trek TOS.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of your other, like we talked about, like what are some of your other like television sci-fi stuff? So I gotta go turn on the fan. It's getting a little bit toasty in here.
Yeah. So I would say like definitely the 2000s era was like my era of sci-fi because it was just a cool era to be growing up in and watching TV. So Battlestar Galactica and SG1 are definitely up there.
Yeah, definitely Battlestar Galactica. Yeah, Battlestar Galactica was kind of like the beginning of like the prestige television format, really.
Mm-hmm.
It was like Sopranos, and then because like if you look at the way people consume Game of Thrones, it kind of started with Battlestar Galactica.
Mm.
But yeah, so like for me, obviously, let's see. I do love like as much a fan of Star Wars as I am. I do love my Star Trek, TNG, Voyager. Voyager has a special place in my heart because every week I would sit down and watch it with my dad.
Mm.
So it's got that like special memory with your dad kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Funny thing is, we always used to watch the show that came before it, and there was 2 shows. There was The Sentinel and 7 Days, which nobody talks about these shows nowadays.
Mm.
The Sentinel is about a person who all of his sentences are heightened up to 11, like supernatural degree.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty interesting. And then 7 Days is about a guy who can travel back in time 7 days. It's kind of got like this SG1 kind of feel where like you have like this quasi government facility and like there's this whole group of people,
Yeah. SG1, especially in its first season, felt like it was borrowing its concept from Star Trek. There were a lot of like, first encounters with other species, and they, not species, they were all humans mostly.
What's weird is I love the movie Stargate. I love that movie. It is a great movie. I never really got into SG1.
Yeah, SG1 you kind of have to keep watching, like especially season 1. Well, season 1 it feels like it's borrowing heavily from Star Trek with all the first contacts, but then season 2 just kind of loses steam and fizzles. I think season 3 is where it really starts to get good. And then like seasons 4 and 5, I think that really it starts to take on a life of its own because they get into a little bit of espionage. The government isn't like this benevolent force, and it's during the war in Iraq, and then like they address like this power vacuum because they defeated the main bad guy, and now all the Goa'uld are like these system lords are all fighting each other. And now there's this power vacuum, and what do? There's blowback now. It's like the Middle East, and like there's so much of that going on while that was going on. So that made it interesting. It really took on a life of its own, and that was around the same time they were doing the Atlanta spinoff. So that's my favorite part of the show. I just thought it was really interesting. You don't really see that in other shows.
Yeah, a lot of shows at the time were kind of copying the Star Trek formula, like Sequest DSV is just Star Trek Next Generation, but under the ocean.
Yeah.
One thing I do want to give a shout out to is Babylon 5, where it took kind of like what was going on with sci-fi at the time, like your TNG, your Deep Space Nine, and then it kind of did its own twist to it.
Mm.
Did you ever watch Babylon 5?
I've seen bits of Babylon 5, not the entire show.
Did you ever watch Farscape?
Yes, I've seen Farscape.
Farscape is another one of those shows that like has a big audience or whatever.
Yeah, Farscape's really entertaining. SG-1 because they took on some of the same cast, and it felt a lot like Farscape at the end. But
didn't they actually do like I think I saw clips where they did full-on Farscape parodies in the show.
They kind of were. It was getting very Farscape-ish toward the end because they're kind of running out of stuff. They need new material. And Farscape's a lot of fun. I've said that like there's this little, it's not really a show, ride show thing. It's kind of like at Disneyland, Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, like a 3D experience sort of. And a lot of people didn't do this. It was like in the early 90s, before they had Honey, I Shrunk the Audience, it was Captain EO. It was a Michael Jackson and Madonna thing. And
that's always that dates all the way back to the 80s.
Yeah, that's true. I saw it in the early 90s. It went back to the 80s. It was Michael Jackson and Madonna thing, very Farscape-ish, only 3D. That's what Farscape reminds me of.
Interesting. But yeah, the thing about Farscape was, and they actually worked with Jim Henson Creature Shop on it, and that's kind of what lends it a certain quality is the fact they have, Henson Creature Shop as.
I think
like, obviously it's what's weird is. They were still 10 years removed from Jim Henson's death, but like a lot of the great people still worked at Jim Henson Creature Shop at the time, so they're still able to do like that good stuff.
Yeah, and there is that certain quality. I wouldn't be surprised if Captain EO was the same thing.
Probably. See, that's kind of why I'm really sad. Is the 80s was kind of like the pinnacle of practical effects.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, like that that was the era where Michael Jackson could call up, "Hey, get me the guy who did American Werewolf in London," or in the 70s, George Lucas could just like have the guy who designed the Planet of the Apes makeup did Chewbacca,
Totally.
I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know they were the same guy.
Yeah, so the Planet of the Apes makeup, which I gotta say that makeup actually looks still pretty good to this day, by the way.
Yeah.
He did Chewbacca. He's the guy who did the Chewbacca makeup and suit, whatnot.
Interesting. It's not surprising, and like it really was a pinnacle of practical effects. You won't really see that again.
Yeah. And the other thing about the 80s is after Star Wars, some of these people actually started to filter out in the industry. Like for example, John Dykstra. He worked on all 3 Star Wars movies. He eventually would go to work on like Spider-Man and Daredevil. So like we were feeling the aftershocks of Star Wars, of the people, even into the 2000s, really.
Yeah, especially the first Spider-Man movie had a lot of practical effects. It wasn't so CGI heavy as the others in that trilogy.
Yeah, even the second one where like they made the tentacles for real, which is something that no one would ever think of doing nowadays.
No. I think the second one struck the right balance between CGI and practical.
I think practical effects died with Stan Winston, because if you look at it, like practical effects were kind of still a thing up until like the mid 2000s because like Stan Winston died like 06, 07. If you notice, after he died, practical because Stan Winston was like the last great still in the industry.
What was his last movie?
I think maybe Terminator Salvation.
Which is, I don't know. It was an okay Terminator. I don't love that one.
Stan Winston's last completed film was Iron Man. Well, he died in June 2015 during the production of Terminator Salvation Avatar. Okay.
Wait.
I forgot that Stan Winston was involved with Iron Man. That makes a lot of sense now. Like, if you look at Iron Man, and then even just going to Iron Man 2, there's a huge difference.
Yeah. I think of like the Cave, like the more primitive Iron Man suit, the prototype.
So he worked on Terminator Salvation, which, you can kind of feel Stan Winston's presence there. And then apparently he was involved with Avatar. I mean, Stan Winston and James Cameron go back forever. I think Stan Winston worked on the original Terminator.
It's hard to believe Avatar has any practical effects.
Yeah. I don't get Avatar.
I don't get it either. It's Ferngully.
They come out, they make a jillion dollars, and then nobody talks about them ever again.
Yeah.
Like, there's no discussion about it online. There's no discussion about the lore. Like, I still see people talking about Pacific Rim.
Right.
Which, by the way, Pacific Rim is an amazing film. I love that film so much. Have you seen Pacific Rim?
I've seen like half of it. Someone put it on at work.
You need to watch Pacific Rim.
I thought it was all right. What I saw of it. I'm going to get ejected right now.
I'm thinking about it.
But yeah, I said Ferngully because it is Ferngully, and it's just not that. It's an overhyped movie.
Ferngully's more memorable. At least
more memorable. Yeah.
At least in Ferngully, you have stupid, sexy Tim Curry doing a whole soliloquy about slime and sludge and toxic love.
Right. It is.
I don't see Jake Sully breaking onto a dance number midway through the movie.
Yeah.
Slime beneath me.
Right.
Slime. Sorry.
Well, this happens with directors sometimes. This kind of happened with George Lucas too. Like, a director who's great and talented reaches a certain height and no one tells them no, and they're surrounded by yes men, and they think they're producing something that's just genius, and it's not that good. And that's what Avatar was.
That's what happened with and there's also a bit of a neutering because James Cameron was a notorious a-hole. Like, it's legendary. Like, so much so that like the crew used to do "I survived the production of True Lies" or whatever. He is a notoriously a difficult director to work with, like a major a-hole. But he also directed some of the most profitable movies ever, so people put up with him. Supposedly, he's turned it down now. That's the other thing. I feel like as people get older, they tend to lose their edge. I think this is what happened with Ridley Scott. Is Ridley Scott has lost his edge. I think it started with Prometheus. He's kind of lost that spark, that fire, and it's happened with Steven Spielberg as well. Like, I think the last good Steven Spielberg movie was War of the Worlds.
Well, he was involved in the making of the last Puss in Boots movie, which actually was entertaining.
But he didn't direct it. Like, I know he produced Transformers, like he produced some stuff, but like actual directing. I think the last good Steven Spielberg movie is War of the Worlds.
Yeah, probably. I can't even think of what he's directed after that.
He did Ready Player One, which God, you can't even tell. He did West Side Story.
Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah, he's totally neutered, honestly.
Yeah.
Which is sad because Steven Spielberg is a Mount Rushmore director.
Really is. Yeah.
Okay.
Did he direct The Fabelmans?
The
That
what?
was a good. Did he direct The Fablemans? That was a good movie.
I've never heard of that.
It's about his life. I'm pretty sure he directed that. That was a good movie.
So my Mount Rushmore directors. So four directors I put on there is Steven Spielberg, Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock,
Mm-hmm.
and Tim Burton.
Why Tim Burton?
His cultural, the cultural impact his movies have had upon the millennial generation. Hot Topic literally is in business because of Nightmare Before Christmas.
Fair enough.
I
I don't think that's a good thing, but I'll give you that. You like goth girls, so that's probably why.
But who is your Mount Rushmore directors? 4.
Spielberg's definitely up there. Who would I put? I don't know if I'd put Scorsese. I don't know. I go back and forth.
Scorsese, it's like he does one type of movie and he does it really well. He does gangster movies really well.
Right.
And really, he's honestly no. Scorsese did Godfather, right?
No, that was Francis Ford Coppola.
Okay. Okay, maybe do Scorsese because he's had a large body of work. He's
he's had a lot of good movies. Raging Bull,
The Departed.
The Departed's that's definitely a favorite among our age group. Robert Zemeckis, I'd say.
He's I'm not very much a fan of one-hit wonder directors. Like he did Back to the Future. Obviously he did a couple of things like Romance in the Stone, Forrest Gump, and a few other things, but I don't know. It's whoever you want on your list. It's your list, whatever you want. But.
Yeah. I would put James Cameron in there for his earlier stuff. I'm a big fan of Terminator.
Yeah. James Cameron, I didn't want to put him on there because I don't know, I'm not a big fan of his person, but he kind of does. If there was a fifth position, I put him on there because Terminator, Titanic alone might get him on there. His Avatar, all that stuff. But he's definitely in the top 10, maybe top 5.
Ridley Scott, I think he belongs in there.
Yeah. Well, he's not as good now. Oh my god, from the early Alien. What do you think was his last good film?
Not Gladiator 2.
Gladiator 1 is amazing. I love
Gladiator 1 is amazing. That's.
Are you not entertained?
Right.
Are you not entertained? Is there anyone here who will fight me?
Then of course there's Tony Scott for Top Gun. So.
Yeah, but what else has he done? He did some great.
Do you have to do anything besides Top Gun?
Yes.
Said.
There's a reason why I haven't put George Lucas on the list.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
Because yes,
he also can't direct. This is a director's Mount Rushmore, isn't it? He can't direct actors. I'll say that.
He can't write either. George Lucas, you can write this, but you can't. You can.
That's true. He's a world builder. He's not like a character art guy. He's not a director of actors. Yeah, I don't think he belongs on the Mount Rushmore.
Like that is the reason why the trilogy was so good. It's because there's people who would tell him no.
Exactly.
I know he grumbled because he had a clash with a lot of the people, the producer, but. If you look at the list of people who are working on Star Wars, it's a who's who of the best talent in movie making talent in Britain at the time. He worked with literally the best people in Hollywood at the time, but also other people tell him no, his wife Marsha Lucas. I believe Marsha Lucas gets over empathized. It's even Sheil, even she kind of downplays her achievements or whatever. But she's important. The editors are important. I think she's really important to the edit of Star Wars. I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll maybe say like maybe she saved Star Wars, but like people say, oh, it would have been nothing without her. You want to know what saved Star Wars? John Williams.
Fair enough.
The score is like 80% of that movie.
Yeah, fair enough.
And like, George Lucas has like directed a couple other things like THX. What was that Hot Rod movie he did before Star Wars?
American Graffiti.
Yeah, he's done a few other things, but like Star Wars is, so I wouldn't put him on the. It's like for me, and you're welcome to think differently. The Mount Rushmore is for body of work and the impact.
Yeah, I gathered that. Yeah.
So like Steven Spielberg has a body of work a mile wide. Alfred Hitchcock, mile wide body work. And then you have Stanley Kubrick, body of work.
Yeah, and I tend to get stuck into like the directors that I, whose work I would be more acquainted with. But yeah, absolutely, Hitchcock and Kubrick belong in there as well. There's no question.
I wouldn't put Martin Scorsese on my Mount Rushmore, but I can totally see why you put it, because he does have a body of work.
Well, if you're reaching directors of all time, and yeah, I would say that Stanley Kubrick and Alfred Hitchcock definitely knock Martin Scorsese off of there.
Well, who's your four then?
I don't know. Kubrick and Hitchcock, like classic directors, like you're going back pretty far, and Hitchcock for sure. Just his cinematography, like that is his unique style.
Well, let me ask you a question then. Who are some of your favorite modern directors? So for me, I would say people like Edgar Wright, and then Robert Eggers. A lot of eggs, but like, because like Edgar Wright, like to me, it's like they have a style. Like an Edgar Wright movie when you see it. Like Baby Driver, Scott Pilgrim, that kind of thing. The way that Edgar Wright incorporates music, and then Stephen Robert Eggers, Nosferatu, The Northman, like that kind of movie or whatever. The only other, this is a bit of a, as far as one of my favorite directors, like Guy Ritchie. Guy Ritchie is another one of those like certain type of, like, to me, he's very much like a man's man director. Because when you watch a Guy Ritchie movie, it's like the women are hot, the guys are badass. It's got great dialogue. It's got a good plot. It's tight.
That's true. I do like seeing like Guy Ritchie movies will bring me and the wife to the theater.
Yeah, because it's something, the guys will be staring at the hot girls, and then the women will be staring at the hot guys. It's
yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone's happy.
Have you seen The Man from U.N.C.L.E.?
Yes. That was a great movie.
I love that movie so much. Oh my god.
That was a fun one. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'll give you that. Guy Ritchie will get you into the theater for sure. They should make more Guy Ritchie movies.
I need to see The Ministry of Ungentle Warfare. I need to see that movie.
Oh, I haven't seen that one either yet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of his more recent films.
Yeah.
It looks pretty good. One director that I really enjoyed up until he's kind of fallen off is Matthew Vaughn.
What
he did X-Men First Class, Kingsman Service. Like, he had a certain style. Like, I liked the way he did superhero movies. Some of his more recent movies have not been that good, but like he had a 10-year run there where he did some really good stuff.
Yeah, First Class was great. I like that whole
Kingsman,
I like the first two in that series. Yeah, Kingsman, the first Kingsman especially.
I'm gonna be honest, like, first Kingsman, great film. Second one, I don't like it. Third one is actually kind of okay.
Yeah, I'm definitely more a fan of the first Kingsman movie.
Yeah, the second one, it's just like they had the heavy-handed drug metaphor. It's got Pedro Pascal in it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems, I don't know, not good. Like, the first one was tight, had a clear message, clear themes. Manners maketh man. Had a very, like, I don't know. It worked.
Yeah. It was just a good standalone movie, really.
Yeah. So yeah, let's kind of wrap up here. So we'll be doing tomorrow for the Pence Takeover. You guys have funded it, so thus, C.A. Pence will be playing some Resident Evil Village. He'll get stomped on by the big lady. So, yep. And then Saturday, we're doing some more Batman Arkham Knight. It'll be pretty sweet. So yeah, what do you got going on, RJ?
Work. What old stuff? To quote Wash, work. Only Wash was gonna do something more fun right then when he said that.
Yeah. I want to make out with Gina Torres. Oh, Gina. That's another thing. Like she didn't do as much, but like she went on to Suits.
Oh yeah, Suits. I forgot about that show.
Yeah, she played like. And here's the thing: if you go watch Suits, the way she plays Jessica is almost totally different from how she plays Zoe. It's really interesting. Like she's one of those actresses that I wish I'd gotten more stuff.
I was more of a Burn Notice guy.
I can tell by the shirt.
I just want to be a spy in Miami. What?
I mean, the fact that Bruce Campbell is a regular on the show probably has nothing to do with it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Suits is kind of one of those shows where like it had its run. Not a lot of people talked about it, but like a few years ago, it just seemed to blow up. Now everyone's talking about the show.
Yeah. What
would it be like to be an actor where like you did a show, it did okay, you got 9 seasons out of it, it was fine, you ended it, and then like nobody talks about it for 10 years, and all of a sudden everyone's talking about it, and now you got to talk about the show you did 10 years ago that like, hey, I thought people didn't even care about the show.
Well, that's what happened with Dexter. Like it got new life because apparently TikTok or something, and now all these Gen Z people are into it, and they revived it.
I'm kind of scared that they're having the Firefly because you would think it's on Disney Plus. I think it was on Disney Plus for a little bit.
It should happen to Firefly.
All right, so yep. So Firefly is on Hulu, Disney Plus. So yeah. Otherwise, just buy the DVDs, guys. Buy the DVDs, Blu-rays, please. But yeah, so we're gonna take off here. RJ's probably telling me to just end the show already. But yeah, this has been Nick from the Phoenix Press, and remember, I can let you show you the door. You have to walk through it.